Well, I've got out to where I wanted to be, which is an achievement, I can tell you. The snow's pretty deep. As you can see, we've got about a foot of snow. That's where I normally have my campfire. And carefully hidden all over this area is freshly cut firewood hidden under logs. Keep the snow off and keep them dry. I've got my kit bag with me. Never ever head out in this weather without it, because I've got everything in there I need to spend the night if I have to. So I'm not sure if I'm staying tonight or not. It's going to be minus 15, I think they said. Either way, still pretty cold. But I quite often set up a shelter between these two trees here. That's my normal fire pit. So I need to dig out some of this snow and collect a bloody great pile of firewood, which I happen to know is down over that bank over there. Right, that'll do for now. Now, a lot of people build fires in different ways. Because I've got about a foot of snow under here, and I don't have a shovel with me because it's packed like concrete under there, I've taken off all the loose snow off the top, and instead of putting a small bed of logs, these are the ones I already had cut up here that I hide in my secret stashes. These ones, I just cut these two. So I'm going to build the fire on top of these big logs, because that'll glaze up the ice and everything underneath, and it'll give me something to build a fire on. And once this fire gets going, I've got some decent sized logs right there. Once this gets going, it'll melt its way down through there pretty good, I should think. So many ways to skin a cat, and this is how I do it if there's a lot of snow on the ground, because not a lot you can do if you haven't got a shovel with you. However, I've scooped out about a foot of snow off the top, and I'm thinking there's probably about a foot underneath, so oh well, let's give that a go. Let me get that going, and then we'll see how we go from there. Here we are, a couple of minutes later, the fire's beginning to go. So I've put a couple of big logs on the ground. They're about 4 inches, I guess, 3-4 inches. Some smaller ones on the top, and some of the ones that I had secretly stashed, because they got a little bit of snow on them, I've just put them either side like that, just to start to warm them up. Once the wood gets warm, you'll be surprised how quickly it gets going. Right, now I need to go and find a crap load more wood. I stashed several piles out here. I know where 2 of them are. I can't remember where I put the other one. I shall go and find it. Right, that'll do for now. Just in case anybody has any doubts as to what day of the week it is, it's T-Boy Forest Fire Day. A little bit of firewood there. I've got some more over there I've got to cut up. I found my other stash. It was over in those trees over there. There's another stash I got down the bottom of that valley over there. There's several sites I use here. Bottom of that valley over there. It's nice this time of the year because you can get across it, but in the summer it's all swampy and bleak. Yeah. Nice bit of sunshine behind the trees, and just about not the only cloud in the sight is actually a contrail off an aeroplane over there. Look. Yeah. Other than that, look at that. Blue skies. Yeah, it's minus 10, but it's blue skies. Sweatshirt weather. Sweatshirt, trousers. I had to put my spikes on because it's all hard packed snow and stuff. And yes, it's time for tea. Can't odds it. Those bottom logs are starting to catch now, coming underneath the logs there now, let's see. They're about 4 or 5 inches round, I guess, 4 inches, something like that. But they should burn for some time. Yeah. Right, time to enjoy this tea. Right, so the fire's coming along a little bit. As you see, I've started laying more logs long ways. All the ones that were burning horizontal I put down in the middle. I've got some good coals in the bottom there now, so that's good. Starting to come along. I've got a whole bunch more of those. They're only about 3 inch round, I guess, the big ones on the top. Once they get going, they're good. Once you've got that good bed of coals in there, you're good. You can a long fire like this. It doesn't give off as much light, but it burns for longer, which is what you want in the cold. You can build a teepee fire, but you'll burn through all that wood really, really fast, and you don't want to do that because in cold weather collecting wood is hard work. You're burning calories and you're wasting heat. So the idea is to get the most from the minimum effort, and this kind of fire, laying the logs long ways like that, makes them last longer, gives off loads and loads of heat, and it's actually rather nice because you don't have to keep tromping off to find more wood. Yeah. I've got a good stack of wood behind me now, and I've got some more down here, so that's good. Right, let's let that build up a good pile of coals and we should be good. Well, this fire's been burning for about 2 hours now. As you can see, the big logs in the bottom, they're still good. They're holding the heat down the middle. So every now and again what I'll do is I'll lay another one through the middle. If you look at the far end there, I put one at an angle just to lift it up, let some air in there, works great. Just lift up one end and then it kind of gets the fire to run up and down the logs. Plenty of snow here. As with all fires, always make sure you know how you can put it out before you actually light one. Lighting a fire is really easy, putting it out is not so much. So always make sure that when your fires are done, they are completely out. Even in this time of the year, I mean, you look at, there's 2 foot of snow here in places, so you think there's no way a fire can do any damage, but it can. So always make sure that I've had a fire on that particular spot, many times now actually. I'm not even sure how. Well, the day is moving on. Let the fire die down a bit now. I was going to spend the night, but I should have brought a shovel here because I need to remove all that snow there and then build a pile of branches and what have you. I've got all my tarps and stuff in the pack there, but setting up overnight without all the proper gear, it's just going to be a cold, miserable night. I know it is. Yeah, I need to get the snow off the ground. So you either need to move the snow or build a huge pile of branches on top of the snow. But, these trees around here need their branches more than I do at the moment. So, yeah. So that's pretty good. So, right, let's get that died down. Right, it's coming up to the end of the day for today for campfire. So I like to make sure all the coals and everything are on. So what I've done is I chucked a bunch of small stuff on there, just to make sure that the fire's going to completely burn itself out. It just increases airflow through the fire if you put a bunch of small stuff on it. That helps the coals, otherwise the coals will just sit there for hours and hours and hours. So what I do is I break all the coals up into smaller pieces, chuck a bunch of small stuff on the top. It burns through really fast, obviously because there's a tremendous amount of heat in there. And then once that dies down, you'll find most of the coals, literally you can just crush them up to nothing but ash. And then I shall bury it all in a foot of snow once I go. Make sure it's all out. But if you can't put your hand in it, it's not out. So, very important. As you can see, it's right down to the ground now. Like I say, this particular spot I'm not too worried about because I know that there's nothing in the ground here that's going to burn because I've had dozens of fires here. So, but there isn't a lot left in the ground there that's going to cause any problems. I need to, next time I come, I'm going to re-stash all my secret stashes of wood. As you can see, it's turned out a pretty nice day. A little bit of clouds starting to come, sun up there through the trees. This camera's not overly good for that kind of stuff. It doesn't like the direct light. Right, there's that. Start to pack everything up. Got to put my warm hat on the way back. It's about -10, -15 at the moment, so I shall put my warm hat on the way back. Everything is back in the backpack. I still have half a flask of tea, so I need to drink some of that, I guess. And then I can head back. Let this burn right down. I like to make sure there's nothing but ash left by the time I go. Okie croaky. Right. This ain't a nice day, I don't know what it is. Right, there's the fire site. It is out. Stone cold. It was nothing but pretty much ash and a few little coals by the time I finished. I've just buried it in 6 inches of snow, stomped all over it, moved it all around again. It's nice and cold in there, so that ain't going to do anything. That's what your campfire should look like by the time you leave. Make sure everything's out. You know, literally, if you can't put your hand in it, it's not out. That is completely out. Right, the sun is starting to head down through the trees. It's going to take me an hour or more to get out of here. Maybe 2, I don't know, depends how deep the snow is. Depends which way I go back. It's really steep down that side, so you can go down that way and up over the other side of the valley. This time of the year is actually not too bad because the creek in the bottom is actually frozen solid. You can actually walk down, it's about 100, 200 yards down that way, I guess, to the river. You can actually walk down that way and literally walk down the ice. I've got cleats on, so you can actually do that, but if you slip on that stuff, it bloody hurts because it's not flat. Yeah. However, there are several places up in here that I can get to much easier in winter than I can in the summer, because I can just walk straight up the rivers. So, as you can see, it's a long way down through that side, so I'm not going back that way. Right, fire is out, everything's covered up, everything looks good. My wood stash is stashed, ready for the next visit, and I'm heading on out of here that way. Right, job done.